should police be able to instantly disqualify drink and drunk drivers? Police chiefs are pushing for new powers to allow officers to ban dangerous drivers immediately instead of waiting for sentencing hearings to go to court. I'm joined by Nick Freeman, a lawyer specialising in driving, speeding and road awareness. And he joins us now. Nick, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Alexis.
Thanks so much for giving me your time, Nick. I know you're going to have a strong opinion on this. So what was your first reaction when you heard about these suggestions?
I checked my diary. I thought, is it April the 1st? And then I realised, no, it isn't. But the police job is to collect evidence, to investigate offences, to be impartial. The day hasn't yet come where they're going to do that and also act as judge and jury. And I think that will be a terrible affront to justice if that happens. In no way do I condone people who drive dangerously, drink and drive, drug drive, etc., etc. But there is a court system that's been in place for hundreds and hundreds of years, and everyone has their own respective role. And by and large, it works well. And we certainly don't want all our eggs in the basket of the police or anybody else for that matter.
Okay, Nick.
So just to deal with the police's concerns, if they want to get someone off the road straight away, they can do that now. They can do that by granting bail with a condition that that person doesn't drive, or they bail the person or keep the person in custody till the next day where they appear in court and make an application that the person shouldn't drive. So those powers are already there in place.
Why are they not being used, though, Nick? Because I've spoken to many people who say that they were caught. They failed the test by the roadside, and then I believe, and you're more familiar with the process probably, is that you then go to the police station, take another test, and if they're both failed, then that means that you're going to be having to appear in court at some point. Now, I have spoken to people who have said that that has happened to them, but in the time between their court appearance and their double failure in those tests, they continued to drive. So if you are dealing with someone who has a drug or alcohol problem, they can still be putting themselves and others at risk by continuing to drive for another 3, 4, maybe even 6 months because the courts are backed up so much. So how do we solve that problem?
As I say, first of all, the roadside test is simply a guideline, so people don't go to the police station when they're probably under the limit. That's the purpose of it. It has no other purpose. It's not an accurate device, etc., etc. The simple answer is they're not using the powers available. Right. If the police want to get people off the road, bail them with a condition they don't drive. And that's a fair concern, and the powers are already there. Or just bail them or remand them in custody till the next day or a very short bail date, and you get them off the road straight away, if that is the concern. And obviously there might be a contested hearing, but by and large, if it's the sort of case where someone should be off the road because they're an alcoholic or a drug addict, the courts would lean over and say, yes, you can be on bail, you remain on bail, but there's a danger of you committing further offences. So a condition of your bail is you don't drive. It's there.
Okay, this is really handy to know, the fact that the powers to keep people off the roads, even before their court hearing, is there for the police to take. Nick, before you leave us, one thing I wanted to run past you that's in the press today, this idea about touchscreens in cars being too distracting and car manufacturers being asked to reduce the amount that we have to interact with touchscreens. What are your thoughts on this? Because you often have to deal with clients who have been, using their phones whilst they've been driving and therefore have had points put on their license. What are your thoughts about those touchscreens in the cars?
I think they're a terrible distraction, and I think all your listeners should be aware that however legal it is to use your screen, if, God forbid, you were involved in an accident and you were distracted, even if you were tired, because you'll be asked, did you sleep well the night before? If you're eating a sandwich, having a drink, any form of distraction, not just a touch screen, that will become an aggravating feature. And, it will not afford you a defence to say, oh, I'm sorry, I was trying to turn off my lane access, or I was trying to find this, or I was trying to find that. And you mow someone down or you hit somebody, a cyclist or something like that, you will be charged with the full offence, and it will not avail any defence to you. I was on my touchscreen. So it's a move by the safety body And what it's saying is we need to go back to simpler systems so that the 5 fundamental requirements for drivers to comply with should be there at a button or a stalk. It should be very simple. So it basically minimizes distraction. That's the purpose. We want drivers to concentrate on what's around them, not obsessed with speedometers at 20 miles an hour either, but what's generally going on around them so that they're safer, more aware, and the roads will be safer for everyone's benefit. So the moves are a good move. And if they want to have a 5-star safety rating, they're going to have to, 2026, comply with these recommendations.
And Nick, just to clarify there for a lot of people listening, interacting with your screen that's part of your car and interacting with your mobile phone, even if it's in a cradle, that the law doesn't distinguish between those two things.
Not at all.
Okay.
People think if you're using your phone and it's hands-free, it's all right. No, it isn't. The level of distraction is the same. And as I say, it's all right until it goes wrong. Mm-hmm. And if you're involved in an accident, whether you're hands-free or handheld, the full force of law will be waiting for you.
Okay. Nick, as ever, thank you for your time and your expertise. Always good to speak to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Nick Freeman there, lawyer specialising in driving, speeding and road awareness conditions. Thank you for that. Now, look,